In this episode of The Trend Talk, she's a Latina fierce female director that's taking over Hollywood. We interview Gabriela Tagliavini. And singing sensation Larry Hernandez talks juggling life and love in the spotlight. Also, they have us wrapped around their finger. Twisted for sugar, a cotton candy that'll have you asking for more.
Welcome to the Trend Talk. We're happy you can join us again, and today we have a fabulous show. But first, we were talking, Naiba and I, the other day about our vacation. What countries have you been able to travel?
Well, I've traveled both for vacation and for work, but some of my favorite places are the Maldives, which is a small island near India. Well, not that close to India, but it's an island that's sinking because of global warming, and they fear that it's not going to exist in 20 years or 30 years. But it was amazing. A lot of water, so clean, etc.
How did you end up there? I mean,
because my husband was really wanted to take us somewhere exotic, somewhere that's not overpopulated, somewhere that's, it was kind of like our honeymoon. Mm-hmm. So that's what we did. Another one of my favorites was Egypt. I got to see the pyramids. Wow. I got to get on a camel and just kind of experience that.
Was business or pleasure?
That was actually business as well for reporting. Yeah. So
that's awesome. That's the best way to travel. Business.
Right. Oh, yeah.
And you get to have fun as well.
Yeah. And, a lot of people travel not just because they take vacations or for work, but there's this thing about, medical tourism. It's been around forever, where people travel to different countries because they can't get a procedure done in the United States because either they don't qualify for it, it's too expensive, or the FDA hasn't approved it.
So how did you jump to that? Are you going to tell me you went for a procedure somewhere?
No, just because we're talking about traveling, and I'm saying sometimes you travel not for business or pleasure, but to get stuff done. For example, did you know that in Brazil a lot of people go there to get a Brazilian butt lift? Because that's if you're gonna get a butt lift, that's
you gotta go to Brazil.
Yeah, you gotta go where they know how to do it. But
well, I heard they didn't go to Brazil, but I have a friend who has a friend who went to down south to
Mexico,
get a butt implants, and they rotted. I mean, they went bad. And I've seen those pictures. That's horrible.
That's lethal. She's
and
okay.
What is she? Yeah, she's okay.
Wow.
Oh, actually, it was a movie star.
Oh, a movie star.
Yeah,
Alejandra Guzman. But that can really, you're putting your life at risk because even though some procedures may be more inexpensive, there's also not a lot of control because you don't really know who's behind the operating table.
That's very new, and I'm against putting any foreign objects into your body.
Right.
But a nose job, that's pretty cool. That's pretty common, and there's no foreign objects going up your nose, so that's pretty safe. So if you guys want to go get a nose job, because they're very inexpensive over there as well.
But you have to be very cautious. There's a list here that says Singapore, a lot of people go there for organ transplants. That sounds scary to me. Plus, where are they getting these organs from, right?
Well, when you're desperate and you need a kidney, I could see how people would travel there.
A lot of people travel to Thailand for sex reassignment surgery. There's a woman, though, that went blind because she traveled to Panama to get her colors changed from brown to blue.
Her eyes?
Her eyes, because there's a procedure there. Obviously, it's not FDA approved, so she had to travel to Panama. She's blind now.
Well, I find those people very brave. I wouldn't go to those countries. That's not in my country to do things like that. That I don't hear a lot of people doing that, changing their eye color.
Right.
Have you?
No, because it's not safe. Like I said, this lady can't see. There's another guy that lost sight in one eye. That's why it's very, very, very touchy to go to a different country, even though it might seem good, might seem cheap and all of this, but then at the end of the day, you don't really know.
Okay, so if you tell me you're going to Brazil, don't tell me you're going to Brazil because I'm gonna think okay, what is she gonna go do?
No. Okay, I want to go to Alaska, and I haven't heard that there's medical tourism in Alaska.
Yeah, well, that's very interesting that I didn't know where all of these countries and that they specialized in all the different things. So
right. Moral of the story: if you're gonna get any operation done, whether it's bumping your booty or getting a heart transplant, I think it's always better to, even if you have to pay a little extra to get it done here in the United States, where you kind
I'll
of
remember that.
if something goes wrong, at least you're in your own country, right?
That's
Well,
right.
we got to go to a break, but when we come back, we're going to invite someone that's from Argentina, also another country I'd love to visit. She's a director. She's fierce. She's female. Coming up, Gabriela Tagliavini.
En la historia de la humanidad, varias parejas han tenido finales trágicos.
Consultorio de la doctora Amanda Lozano.
Y no es que esté en contra del amor, pero una cosa es clavarse a lo pendejo y otra muy distinta es clavarse con puro pendejo. No te preocupes, yo te voy a ayudar a superarlo.
Es experta, especialista en deshacerse de patanes.
Y mi reto más grande es mi hermana Natalia. ¿Por qué estás con ese güey?
Porque lo amo.
Tenemos que estudiar muy bien la psicología del enemigo. Es egoísta, narcisista y machista. Vamos a convertirte en todo lo que ella quiere y él no le da. El pelito de Bob Ross y la chancla neoliberal se tienen que ir.
And we just saw some clips of Cómo cortar a tu patán, a movie that is directed by Gabriela Tagliavini, which she's a rarity in Hollywood. Not only does she produce and direct, but she also does it in Spanish and in English. You're like a fierce woman in Hollywood. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
And her movie, Como Cortar a Tu Patán, How to Break Up with Your Douchebag, which was that was a translation in English, right?
Yes.
It was #1 at the box office when it premiered in Mexico, beating out Blade Runner 2049. How good does that feel?
We are like very excited. I like the idea of the little dog winning to the big dog, you know.
Yes, yeah. Congratulations on that.
And that's not your only hit. You have many other hits. Like Without Man, it starred a lot of big actors and actresses. Eva Longoria and Christian Slater was in it. Talk to us about that movie. Kate del Castillo.
It was filled with women actresses.
Right.
And that was awesome. There's not many movies that are, a lot of Latinas, in this case, Latinas or a lot of women.
Yeah, in fact, SAG has an incentive. If you have too many women, if you have a lot of women, because usually movies have more men than women. So they give you a break. And it was really fun because I thought when having all these women together, there'll be like a big ego.
Right.
But it wasn't. There was a camaraderie.
Right. So talk to us about why you talk about women so much. Like, why not, talk about men? What is it about the female, narrative that you like?
I feel like it, it's my purpose.
Right.
Each filmmaker has to have a vision, and I have the vision of empowering women. I feel like these movies that I make, people go see it. And in fact, it happened that when I did How to Break Up with Your Douchebag, women will come and say, I want to break up with my boyfriend, or I have this boyfriend that is bad, or my sister, I have to take her to see your movie. The same way Without Men, people can maybe go see the movie and go, whoa, maybe I can open a company together with another woman. So that's kind of my purpose in life.
But that's been your signature in your filmmaking career, because when she started out, it was the woman every man wants. Was that your thesis film, or was that just your first independent film?
It was my first independent film.
And it was about women again. So that's been the formula for all of your movies, basically.
Yes. I also made Ladies Night. So you see the titles, right? Ladies Night was a movie I did for Disney with Ana de la Reguera and Claudia Talancon, and it was the #1 movie in Mexico that year that came out.
Right. And then you also not only do movies about women, but you also do bilingual, right? You do a lot of Spanish and English, and sometimes you mix it. Talk to us about that. And is it challenging to convince Hollywood to greenlight these films that are, I guess some could consider experimental because they're not so traditional?
Yeah, but it depends on the story. The story tells you what language it's going to be, and also if it's a studio, if they want to do in Spanish or English. I likely speak both and Italian, so I think that it's good to speak different languages because I've heard it's good for your brain. But I also think if you put 2 languages in a movie, you reach a wider audience.
But you've already made connections in Mexico too, and that's where you've done this last movie. Yeah. And Ladies Night was done there as well.
Yeah.
But I see you at all the film festivals. I see you at Cannes. I see you in Toronto. So this is where you're making your connections. Is that correct?
Yes. I'm very well. I don't like the word aggressive, but I am very passionate, which is a positive word. Because I think you have to go find your jobs. You have to go find people, and people know people. And this industry seems very big, but it's very small. Everybody know each other in Hollywood. You have to be nice to everybody, be nice to the assistant, because that assistant is going to move up to maybe be the head of a studio. You never know. And now that I've been in this business for 20 years, you know, I know that people that I knew before are move up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have Como Cortar a Tu Patán, Without Men, other movies also. What's next for you? Is there like kind of a dream project that you want to do?
I have my dream project, which is about Leonardo da Vinci, which I wrote.
Wow.
But it's very ambitious, so I might have to do another movie before that. My idea is to make a movie now in English that is a hit in the world, hopefully, and maybe make that.
Right.
Tell us about the movie that you're doing. I know you're doing one with Josefina Lopez. And then I know you're doing one with Antonio Banderas, or the news is out there. So tell us what you can tell us about those projects.
With Josefina Lopez, I wrote a screenplay. She wrote Real Women Have Curves for HBO. So we wrote that screenplay is about 4 women that go into a bachelor party in Cabo.
Wow.
This is like the Bridesmaid Latina style.
Exactly.
Awesome.
So I feel like after Girls Trip did so well, this world is ready for a Latina version of that. We'll see. And then the other one is called Right Now How to Catch an Angel, and it has Mike Tyson and Antonio Banderas.
Wow.
But I'm still looking for the lead, and that is planned to shoot early next year.
We're ready for a lead. Antonio Banderas, I'm in.
Yeah.
Right?
Everybody wants to be in a movie with Antonio.
I know.
What about Mike Tyson? You don't like Mike Tyson?
I don't
Mike
think about
Tyson.
that. No, he seems to be a nice guy, right?
He's so sweet.
Yeah.
You have no idea. I was scared, but he's really, really sweet.
Awesome.
Wow, you made
Gabriela,
all these connections. We
I
look
know.
forward to
Yes.
seeing these projects come to fruition.
Thank you so much.
What an honor to have you here. So where can people find you on social media?
My social media handle is Gabriela Tagliavini. That's GABOTAGLIA, V as in Victor, INI.
That's right. Well, thank you so much. We're going to go to a break, but when we come up after the break, we're going to talk to Larry Hernandez and Kenia Ontiveros. Do you guys know who they are? You probably do. All of that and much more after the break. Welcome back to the Trend Talk, and if you like música regional mexicana, of course you've heard of Larry Hernandez.
Larry Hernandez's new reality show, well, it's not new, it's been on for 6 seasons.
Exactly.
Airs on Universo, and it's called Larry Mania.
That's right. I sit down to talk to him and his fiancée, Kenia Ontiveros, who is building an empire of her own. Take a look.
Well, thank you guys so much. Gracias por estar aquí on the Trend Talk, Kenia y Larry. So congratulations, you guys are the longest running Spanish language reality show. That's quite a feat, because usually for reality shows, people get divorced, What's been the secret of having it last so long? ¿Qué ha sido el secreto de haber mantenido este reality por tantas temporadas?
El secreto es que es real, que es real. El secreto es de que nos encanta.
Were you hesitant at all about going into a reality show and kind of just exposing your life?
I was, yeah. At first I was, when he told me about that they were offering him a reality show. I was like, okay, first of all, I had my oldest daughter. She was a baby when we started in this, and I wouldn't post pictures of her. I kept her private on social media. And once he told me about the reality, I was like, okay, she's gonna be on TV now. So I started kind of making, well, he even made an Instagram for her, so now they're all public. But you know what? I think that what's working for us is that we are how we are. We get along just how we do on camera. That's how we are. So it's not like we have to pretend to be something we're not on camera, and maybe by pretending, you get, like as a couple we start, having problems. It's just, we are how we are, and that's why I think that we don't have problems.
So tell me a little bit about a typical filming day, because you don't film, people think that cameras are with you 24 hours, 365 days a year, but that's not that's not true. They film certain days a year.
Certain days a week, sometimes 3-4 days a week, and then it's certain hours. They do get there early, but it's not like I have to say, okay, so the cameras are coming, I have to do my makeup.
Right.
No, it's like, okay, if I don't do my makeup on a regular day, why would I do my makeup when cameras are coming?
Saber, depende de la época que estamos viviendo, qué tan interesante es. Y eso lo planteamos y lo grabamos.
So it's like, Kenia, so what's going on? Okay, well, I have my office now. I'm working on new products. So can we go to your office? I'll be like, okay, yeah, let's go. And they'll just start shooting.
And as a woman, it's so amazing and wonderful to see, the wife of a famous person kind of being her own woman, not just relying on her husband, doing your own thing, creating your own products. I love that so much. Y tú lo apoyas, ¿no? En todos los negocios que hace tu esposa.
Eso es lo más increíble, ¿no? Verla ella también como empresaria. Ella aparte, no sabíamos, yo creo que no sé si ella sabía, la cualidad y la inteligencia con la que ha llevado ella su compañía.
What does it take for a woman in these times to do their own thing, their own business? Because a lot of women want to do what you're doing. I mean, how hard or how easy is it?
It's not easy. Right. Sometimes people talk about it like, oh, like, of course, if I can do it, anyone can do it, but it's not easy. It's very stressful. But I was thinking about it right now. I was like, a lot of people that see Larry and Kenia on TV, they judge me a lot, or they leave me comments on social media about saying that I'm not smart. Like, oh my God, how can Larry be with the girl? You're not even smart. You don't know anything. You didn't go to school. But then I start thinking, I'm like, okay, I'm the CEO of Kenia Beauty. I am smart, because it's not easy, it's not easy to design, it's not easy to know what you want. And I mean, it's not easy, but it's possible.
And you guys have so many followers, especially in the Hispanic community. You have over 2 million followers on Instagram, you have over 1 million and growing. Are you guys recognized everywhere? Or are there certain little spots where you're like, okay, we're gonna
relax here?
No, with Larry, it's everywhere.
You can be anywhere.
Yes.
Sí, estamos muy bendecidos, yo en mi caso, y ella también donde quiera la reconocen ya, pero en mi caso que donde quiera que me paro, la gente quiere una foto conmigo. En cuanto me miran, no, él es. Obviamente son muchos años en la televisión, son muchas cosas las que hemos pasado públicamente también, que mucha gente también se identifica con los problemas que a nosotros, en lo personal, a mí me han pasado. Entonces, sí, donde quiera me piden una foto. Y a veces si estoy en unos juegos paseándome con mis hijos y los latinos están tomando fotos conmigo, el americano pregunta, ¿quién es? Oh, es un artista que tiene un reality o que canta. Él también quiere una foto. Y bueno, la remanía no se lo pierdan por Universo.
Thank you so much, and thanks for being on the Trend Talk, because if it's trending, we're talking.
Yeah.
Now, how's that for a self-made woman?
That's right. She is definitely making it happen for herself. Thank you for the interview. And coming up, we have another amazing guest, and it's full of twisted sugar. Lucia Rios comes to the studio to share her tips and tricks on starting your own business and making life a little sweeter. After the break.
Who doesn't love cotton candy? Today, our guest is going to tell us how her love for crafts and her passion for putting things together has led her to create her own company, Twisted Sugar. We want to welcome Lucia Rios for joining us today.
Thank you so much, ladies. Thank you for having me here.
And one of the things I love is not just the cotton candy, but that it has Latino-inspired flavors. Talk to us about the different array of flavors you have.
We try to carry as many familiar flavors that are culturally representative as possible. Right now we've got like mango tajin and chamoy.
Wow.
Lots of fruits, piña, coconut, watermelon, churro, and then we just came out with like Mexican hot chocolate because it's something seasonal for us,
And you're talking about flavors for cotton candy.
Of cotton candy, yes.
Yes. And what flavor would this be?
This one is the Mexican hot chocolate, and I actually chose to infuse it with Ibarra hot chocolate because it is a vegan-friendly product. So that's what we try to do, is be inclusive with all diets.
Right. And you are so inspiring because you have an interesting story. It all started with postpartum depression, right? Which kind of gave birth to Twisted Sugar. So talk to us about that.
Yeah, that was an interesting time. I have 2 children. I have a 7-year-old son and a 1.5-year-old daughter. And so right after having my daughter, I started dealing with postpartum depression and went back to work per the advice of my therapist to try to, get back to the groove of normal life.
Right.
And it just wasn't working for me. And so I knew I had to figure out a way to be at home, to work through the postpartum, and also to develop that bond with my daughter. And so thinking of ideas on how to start a business and become an entrepreneur, subsidize some of that income, was what really started this. And I have, like I said, an older son, so I'm a Pinterest mom, always looking on Pinterest for party ideas. And so that was one of the party offers that kept popping up, and I really enjoyed it. I really liked it, and so I just kept coming back to cotton candy, and that's really how the birth of Twisted started. And
but that's the fun part of the business, because you get to try the flavors, you get to try all that. But there's a hard part of being a businesswoman. How did you deal with that? And was there a big learning curve?
I think I hit my first big learning curve like right at the beginning. Just getting the courage to even start was very difficult, especially dealing with depression. You don't really have that much confidence. But once I got over that hump, then I had my biggest hurdle when it came to business. I was mirroring like models and flavors and menus that were already out there. And once I realized that that was not for me, I pretty much felt defeated. I felt like I made a big mistake and this wasn't gonna be a success. And it was just practicing with a watermelon flavor, and my friends were over and we put tahini on it, and it was like, bing, that's what I need to do. And that's when everything changed.
I can put tahini on everything and it tastes good, but I'm curious, is this now your full-time business? And did you leave, what was your other job? What were you before? And did you leave that job? Are you doing this full-time now? Talk to us.
I did leave that job, and I've always been a pretty creative, crafty person, as you mentioned. So I actually worked for a software company in their marketing department, and I was good at it. It just wasn't very fulfilling creatively. So I think having my own business where it allows me to be creative really helped me with that healing process, and helped me, re-engage that fire that I had just creating all, crafting and mixing.
And this is the tools of the trade, right? What is this machine?
This is the cotton candy machine. So this is my partner for my business. I always say that I make it taste good and she makes it look good.
It's a she.
Yes, it's a she.
She's dressed in pink.
Yes, she is my partner in crime for Twisted.
How much cotton candy do you let your kids have?
Probably more than they should.
And you also have a large social media following. Has that been part of your business success, or like what came first, your social media following and then Twisted Sugar, or like how did?
No, so the social media following that I have is exclusive to the business. Like I do have a personal page, but I keep it private and personal. But once I really tapped into what drove me and what made me passionate about the business, which was infusing it with Latino flavors, that's when everything changed for the business, and it just took off. And then following just started steadily increasing, and then I gained notice, and that's just how that all went down.
How long did the process take?
From start to finish, as far as like starting?
Right.
No, from like finding out this is what you wanted to do, to leaving your job, to now.
Oh, okay. I probably left my job about 3 months after starting Twisted.
Oh, wow.
And it took me about a month to really like zero into, this is my niche, this is what I'm going to be doing.
And I'm going to grab one of your grab and go containers.
Yes.
People can order these?
Yeah. So because of the flavors that I offer, I've gained pretty decent amount of attention and interest, and people are very curious to have them shipped to their homes.
Right.
So by popular demand, I opened an online store to be able to ship them. So.
And what is that
address? Like, where can they find you?
It's Twisted, the number 4 sugar.com, and I have an online shop where you can shop all flavors.
Another Latina that's doing her own business. What's next? Are you going to kind of open up shop all over the country, or what's next for you?
I think I'm definitely exploring having the packaged items available in retail stores, specialty stores.
Right.
Definitely gaining traction behind the Latin market. So I'm exploring where other areas are we really strong in as a consumer, and that's where I'm trying to put my product
Are
in.
you ready to go to the Shark Tank?
As someone else, one of your producer, one of your assistants told me that, and I'm thinking like, maybe that should be my next step.
Well, I think your next step is to actually make cotton candy first. But one quick tip for people that want to start their own business or business owners. One quick tip for success.
Be fearless.
Fearless.
Be fearless.
Woo-hoo. All right, let's try some of that cotton candy.
All right, perfect.
So do we get Well, that's it for today's show, but we want to thank our guests. We had so much fun, as we always do.
That's right, and I want to give a special Trend Talk Trendsetter shout out to Delilah D, founder of Delilah and Company. She's always spreading positive message to influencers and to people of all ethnicities, all cultures, all ages. So thanks for doing what you do. Take a look.
I want people to believe in themselves, even if you feel as though people may not believe in you, you may not have a support system. You may be doing all this on your own. You may be doing a complete 180. I just want you at the end of every day to be able to say that you love what you do. Do what you want to do. Peace.
That's it for today. So remember to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, because if it's trending, we're talking.